Japan Part 23. The government did not require the primary school provides swimming pools, but local PTIs caught up in the mood began to demand that their school build pools and offer swimming programs. Within several years, swimming pools dotted the Japanese countryside, usually alongside the elementary school as well as the countryside, as well as the urban and suburban areas. This enthusiasm began to fade somewhat when it was found that some elementary school pupils were spending too much time in swimming to the detriment of their studies and sometimes their health. But the basic program continued. Soon after 1976, the Olympics, East German girls who had dominated the swimming competition told Japan not just to demonstrate their skills, but to offer pointers to aspiring Japanese swimmers and their coaches. The Japanese girls may not yet be able to defeat their East German or American competitors, but in a short span of time they have successfully climbed into the ranks of international competitive swimming in spite of their smaller physical size. The actual decision to introduce a new sport is a complex one. No factor is more important in the timing than international popularity. Guiding the process is a kind of sport community with sports statesmen, business sponsors, coaches, leading players, sports writers, sporting goods store owners, and allies in the government bureaucracy. The community does not necessarily have a fixed membership, but there is a recognized community of specially interested people who work together effectively and who know how best to develop new sport. They know how to whip up the enthusiasm that makes the new sport a kind of a fad. But they also know how to direct the careful acquisition of the know-how that is essential for creating popularity. Interest in new sports does not derive only from international competitive ambitions. Shortly after the war, business leaders discovered that the golf course was an ideal locale for creating informal contact with their counterparts in different countries. Some Japanese businessmen concluded that for them to play well, it was advisable to develop professional golf, for professional Japanese golfers could then give them helpful tips. Foreign professional players were invited to Japan, and before long, budding Japanese professionals were on international circuit. Once golf became popular in Japan, it took on a life of its own, with a special privilege going on to those who belonged to fashionable country clubs. In certain Japanese businessmen's circles, a person's golf handicap is almost as important an item of information as his company's gross sales. The stylishness only added to the seriousness with which the Japanese studied golf. Whatever the sport, the basic approach to learning has been and remains the same. For another example, one noted that bowling, learned from American, became so popular in the 1960s that for a time world's two largest bowling alleys were in Tokyo, and more Japanese were bowling than the Americans. The Japanese learned gymnastics from Soviet Union, hockey from Canada, tennis from Australia and the United States, soccer and rugby from England, skiing from Australia, skiing from Austria, basketball from United States, table tennis originally from the United States and now from China.